After more than 80 winters and summers, ladies and gentlemen, the facts of life will demand our attention instead of murmuring. The last parts of our lives will rest on whether we face these facts or avoid them. So, when you hit 85, there are some hard facts that you can't ignore. It's not a good idea to follow these facts. The first is that the body is hurt. They have changed the way we see the world. It doesn't lie or bet against you, it just keeps going in the way it naturally does. Having pain in the joints, here, the heart beats more slowly, skin turns into waxy paper, time costs money. Degeneration of the body is irreversible, but it doesn't mean you lose your dignity. Instead, it is a choice to act with respect. You can choose to get up every morning, even if it would be easier to stay in bed. Even when your body wants to give up, picking out clothes, brushing your hair, and putting on a beautiful show are all things that you do on purpose. Nobody else can take away your nobleness. Only you can make it yours. She could take your power. Your social circle shrinks as you get older. You can choose to keep your head held high and do small acts of order and discipline to tell yourself and the world, I am still here, and I am responsible for myself. One friend dies at a time. Family still invites you to events, but you usually don't want to go. At the edges of your days, stillness shows up. When it used to be something far away, loneliness is now a big part of everyday life. If you see this as payment for your career of service to people and society, you might be tempted to do it. But in reality, it's a challenge, a way to find meaning in the silence, and a way to find your way when you're all by yourself. People who don't prepare for this loneliness end up dying from it. The third hard fact is that life goes on. Those who accept it, even when it's hard, come out stronger and ready for what's next. Your importance used to be taken for granted, but now it all depends on your point of view. The younger groups rush ahead, sometimes being mean and sometimes not caring. You may want to give up and become angry or unhappy because of how society is changing, but the information you paid a lot of money for is worth a lot. Instead, see this as a chance to get rich inside. People outside of your spirit may not need you, but your spirit does. This is your chance to look inside and find inner meaning. Today your relevance is judged not by how you affect other people, but by how much you know and how honestly you deal with the worst things that happen in your life. As time goes on, the past plays louder. Regrets go around like a hawk. These memories demand an accounting for roads not taken, words whispered, and love not fully recognized. You can't get away from these ghosts, you have to face them. Your last job could be to think, your art is forgiving, you can choose not to let sorrow rule your life in these last few years. Finally, the end isn't some faraway idea anymore. Let it teach you, show you what's important, and lead you to peace. It's real, and you can see it now. The last choice you have to make is whether you want to face death with fear or with the sober pride of a fighter who has fought the right fight. You need to be ready to let go of your things, your titles, your memories, and even your body. Being a lighthouse for those who follow is the last thing that needs to be done. This shows that someone can face the final unknown with open eyes and free will. These things are hard to face, but they are not mean. They are calls to grow up and do last genius things. Don't waste them. The body stops bargaining after age 80. It just goes down. No, this is not a weakness. This is nature talking in the only honest language it knows, the language of time. Things that didn't require much thought used to require a lot of planning these days. It's important to be careful even when getting up from a chair. Eating, walking, and putting on clothes are all things that tell us that our bodies are no longer our faithful servants, but rather old, difficult friends. It's easy to think that this drop is an insult. After all, you spent your whole life dealing with problems, weathering storms, and paying off your bills. Still, the body breaks down, maybe with arthritis, a weaker heart, or trouble breathing, and the mind has trouble remembering things, so it doesn't matter how well you do. Lack of and changes in sleep start to happen. Real life is necessary, and sometimes it's very cruel. But this decline points to a greater truth. You can still control how you react, even though you can't stop your body from getting older. Dignity is something that can be chosen. It takes a strong will to deal with losing power without becoming angry. You have to be determined to stay disciplined and not let pain take away your self-respect. No one can blame you for giving up, but you have more spirit than the young people, even if you aren't as strong or fast. Having discipline, like getting up at a reasonable time, dressing with purpose, and keeping your house clean, helps you to justify your presence. The sad truth is that a lot of people let their body get worse. When you keep your honor when everything around you falls apart, and your duty when you feel helpless, you change. You become stronger and last longer. Every act of order and control is like saying, I am still here, and I am responsible for myself. The world might not notice this kind of bravery, but it makes all the difference. Living your last years not as a slave, but as an example, not as a burden, but as someone who brings meaning to the world, is a great thing to leave behind. Even though your body is getting weaker, you could show others how to be strong and disciplined in the face of death. You can show that even though sadness is inevitable, the soul doesn't get worse. There's more to getting older than just losing strength. It's about making your spirit stronger and more deep. Nature will then pass through your body, but you are the only one who can decide if it will also pass through your spirit. Dignity is a choice that takes courage. After age 80, being alone is almost a given, not just a possibility. There aren't as many people in the social world as there used to be. Friends who used to make you laugh and share memories are no longer around. Others die, and others move away. Even those who are still alive might not be able to visit or call because they are too sick. The world that always seemed to be full of familiar faces thins out like mist in the morning sun. Even in loving homes, there is real loneliness. Children and grandkids couldn't always be here because they had their own lives to live. It's just the pull of life. It's not dislike or neglect. Calls, trips, and conversations are getting shorter. Many older people feel mentally alone, even when they are with their family, like when they go to gatherings, but don't feel like anyone is paying attention. This is a unique kind of pain, being alone in a crowd. It's tempting to pull away, make your heart hard, get angry or bitter. In the end, you spent your best years helping other people, your family, your neighborhood. It doesn't seem fair that being left alone is the reward for being loyal 100 years. But staying angry is only going to make your pain last longer. From a different point of view, seclusion takes away the distractions of the past, making it a master. You look at yourself quietly, without the mask of being busy. Many people are scared of this meeting because they've spent their whole lives avoiding it and only now realize they were doing it. But in the deep silence of old age, something new might begin. The diminishing social sphere is not an attack on your worth. It is the natural end of the human arc. The young and strong have always been at the center of every culture. At 80, you shouldn't expect the world to spin around you. That's not your job. Your worth now lies in how well you handle life's challenges, how much you know, and how honestly you are. At this point, there is a chance for new kinds of society. Not the loud friendships of teens and young adults, but thoughtful conversations between older people, guardians, and even teens and young adults who want to see real endurance and respect. You can't just fall into these relationships, you have to look for them and build them up. The worst thing that can happen is to hide away in silence and use loneliness as a strength. It feels safe, but the spirit is slowly dying there. There is a spiritual battleground in old age as well as an emotional one. That is why it is best to keep reaching out and being open to touch, even if it hurts. It tests your patience, your ability to forgive, and your courage. It makes you think about what it means to be yourself, and uses skills you may not have used before. When you turn 80, one of the worst things you realize is how quiet everything is around you. The effect you once had fades over time. Your advice was once eagerly sought after, but now it is either barely tolerated or even ignored. It's hard to remember things, conversations go by quickly, and choices that you would have had a say in are now made without you. It changes how you see yourself, and how other people see you, because you are not relevant. People respect the energy and creativity of young people. If a culture is too dependent on tradition, it can't last. People who used to be in charge have to give up their positions because things are always changing. Even knowing this doesn't make losing your spot any less painful. It's like dying socially when people don't listen to your hard-earned advice. A lot of people get angry and reject the innocence of youth, which makes them angry that society is going forward. But this poison breaks down as the years go by. It becomes clear that the body is getting worse. This leads to a strange paradox. The more certain the loss is, the deeper its lessons. The experience of getting older is always different, even though that is a truth that everyone shares. The first, more subtle signs might have been pain that wouldn't go away, stiffness in the morning, and a job that suddenly seems hard. Your first thought might be that these are just small irritations that come with living a full life. But these signs get worse over time. Things that you used to take for granted, like going up and down stairs, bending over to tie your shoes, and carrying groceries, become daily tasks. In strange ways, you find yourself in need of help. This change is happening slowly in the mind, the heart, and the body. Every day, your body tells you that you don't feel as free or powerful as you used to. This finding makes me feel like I've lost a lifelong friend, but not in a sad way. After all, your body has been with you through all of your successes and failures. Even though this sadness hides a bigger lesson, seeing it fade away feels like being betrayed, and it hurts to talk about. You can start to care about what's left here, more than what's gone. Even though it moves more slowly, your body is still a way to have fun, connect with others, learn and experience new things. Finding new ways to connect with the world that fit your changing abilities is now the hard part, not missing the skills you used to have. You may not be running races anymore, but a quiet walk in the park, mindful breathing, and light stretching can still be fun and good for you. At this point, a great way to participate is to help others by sharing what you know. Your stories, knowledge, and hard-earned insights are now your gifts to the world. People who come after you will always value the knowledge you have gained over a lifetime, even if they don't always see it. As you get older, you not only face personal problems, but your body also reminds you that everything is temporary. Everything changes, not even life itself, not even health or strength. By accepting this truth, you will be free from your never-ending fight with time. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. Instead of expecting your body to work the way it used to, you start to value the short-term pleasures of just being, like eating in the sun, listening to birds, and seeing the world through the soft eyes of old age. Giving your body the most focused care you can is what it means. As people get older, they are more likely to get sick or hurt, and they become more fragile. This weakness, however, does not make people give up hope. Instead, it's a call to live with a different kind of awareness, to walk more slowly, to put rest first, and to feed yourself with kindness. Still, getting accepted isn't always easy. This new connection with your body, where you respect its past and accept its limits, brings you peace. There will be many days of anger, sadness, and desire for the strength and ease of youth. You might choose to focus on what really matters now, though. A walk to the mailbox, a well-prepared meal, or a phone call from a friend are all small victories that can make you happy. Even though they are small, these events are what make this time in life important. You have to rethink what it means to be active, to take part, and to be living as you get older. You are still the main character in your own story, even if no one is paying attention to you right now. Being at peace with what is, forgiving others and yourself, and letting go of things that can't be changed are the quiet work of the mind that comes after having success in the outside world. This road isn't about fighting what will happen, it's about finding peace in the face of it. It means accepting that birth, growth, and death are all part of life, and not something to be sad about. Acceptance is not the same as apathy, but it can free you and make you feel at peace when you don't have to fight an impossible battle to stay the same. It's not about giving up and letting decline happen without a fight. Smart battle choosing is more important than anything else. However, you can control how you respond to getting sick or having weak limbs. You can pick gratitude over anger and hopelessness over a lack of respect. Get used to your body's weakness, thank it for the journey it's taken you on, and learn what it means to truly live in the moment. Every step, breath, and moment is worth something, and you learn to enjoy them more than ever. This is not an easy thing to figure out. It takes hard work, courage, and the ability to let go of old identities. But as this road goes on, the question becomes, how do you find meaning when everything has changed? You might find a peace that eluded you when you were younger, a calm that comes from understanding and accepting what is. How do you spend your days when you don't have much energy and the world seems to have moved on? The key is not in big actions, but in the small things we do every day. Even though they seem simple, things like making tea in the morning, taking care of a small yard, and reading a favorite book become holy. They tell you that life is still full of possibilities, even when new limits are put in place. Connection also gets more important. Even though the number of people you know has shrunk, the ties you do have with them are stronger. When you've been through a lot together with friends and family, you start to value their company more. Little things that they do can mean a lot. These relationships become more valuable as other things go away. And the quiet times of being by yourself are beautiful in their own way. You might finally meet yourself in the silence, but not as the person you used to be. Instead, you might see yourself as the person you have become. This meeting could be scary and awkward at the same time, but it's also a chance to learn a lot about yourself. You can focus on the important questions: who am I now, when there are fewer interruptions? What value does it appeal to me the most? What do I want to leave behind? You might be surprised by how people answer these questions. They might bring to light goals that have been dormant for years, or skills you didn't know you had. Even though it comes with losses, old age is a time for new beginnings. Of course, you may still feel sorrow about mistakes you made, chances you missed, or things you didn't say. You have the chance to change your story and focus on what really counts. This is a chance to build virtues like patience, kindness, and gratitude. But there is hope even here. You can't change the past, but you can change how you feel about it. If you talk about your regret in an open and kind way, you can turn it from a burden to a source of knowledge. You don't have to lose everything as you get older. You can choose to let go, forget, and go for it. Being changed is what it's about. It's a call to go deeper, to become who you really are, and to find peace in strange places. Don't forget that the trip isn't over as you drive this road. We'll talk about how to make new kinds of connections, take care of your inner life, and leave a legacy of love and wisdom for those who come after you in the next part. People can still live their lives, find happiness, and make sense in the world. Stay with us because your story, the story of getting older, isn't over yet. It's a different kind of decision when the days get quieter and the world seems far away. After 80 years, the idea of time moving is no longer far away. Every morning, every slow step, and every face of the few people who are still with you. There is a slight sense of urgency these days, but it's not the restless drive of youth. Instead, it's a greater desire to think about a life that is mostly behind you. The earth will keep turning long after you're gone, but your story, choices, and impact will always be yours. Regret is a shadow that gets darker as you age. Now is the time to take a hard look at your life, accept the truths you may have tried to hide, and be at peace with them. You need to pay attention to the memories you pushed away before, the chances you missed, the relationships you ignored, and the words you never said. It's heavy to know that some things are always out of reach. Being sorry is not meant to lock you up though. It's not nice. If you treat it with respect and honesty, it will be the best teacher you've had in the last few years. Ignoring your sorrow only makes it grow and cast a shadow over your last days. You can't change the past, but how you feel about it can. This goes against calls to be brave. You have to be honest about your flaws and deal with them instead of hiding behind comforting stories or blaming others. It means really asking yourself, did I live in an ethical way? Did I show love and bravery when it mattered? Do I do what's important, or did I let fear and habits run my life? Being honest with yourself is what leads to peace, even if it's not easy. You can't change the past, but you can forgive yourself and others, say sorry, and find ways to make things right, even if it's late in life. Right now, the most important thing is not to hurry toward an end goal, but to live fully and intentionally in each minute that is left. You can become whole, let go of anger, and live your life without being limited by scars from the past. This is the secret gift of getting older. Outward signs of success, like job accomplishments, money, and social standing, lose their shine. The most important things right now are how much experience you have, how you connect with other people, and how honestly you greet each day. Since there is only so much time, it seems important. Every conversation, small act of kindness, and moment of thanks becomes something to remember. As your friends and family move away, you figure out who is really important to you. People who stay with you are more than just friends, they see your life. When you're old, the best things are the familiar touch, the joy of telling a story, and the quiet understanding of someone who knows your story. You no longer want to keep ties that aren't strong or keep trying to get approval. Instead, you focus on what is real, like love, honesty, and being there. It's clear that these small acts are valuable, and people are also becoming more aware of how temporary things are. You already know that new groups and new ideas are changing the world. Knowing that life will go on without you makes you humble and free. No longer do you need to be in charge or at the center. Instead, you should think about what you can still change: your deeds, your attitude, and your legacy. The main thing that needs to be done during these years is acceptance. The goal is not to live forever, but to leave something important behind: a memory of kindness, a lesson in persistence, a legacy of love. It's a deep understanding that life is short, and that this fact gives it meaning, not giving up or surrendering. Now is the time to forgive, make peace with yourself, say thank you, and try to make things right. Being honest with yourself and the people you care about is more important to you than getting more done. It's time to heal old scars, say what's important, and let go of what's not. Deterioration of the body was once a distant worry, but now it is an undeniable fact. When the body gets weak, it needs extra care and kindness. This is just how things are. It's not a failure. After decades of excitement and trouble, the body now wants to rest and be respected. Being open to being hurt is a form of strength, not weakness. Your presence can be a lighthouse for others, even if your mobility and energy are getting worse. To do this, you need to learn to live in a new way, let go of old standards, and find beauty in small everyday things. You may not be able to do as much as you used to, even though younger people need your knowledge, example, and bravery in the face of death. At this point in life, there is a paradox. You teach not by giving lectures, but by living, showing that you can still have respect, generosity, and hope even when things are going badly. The shorter your days are, the more likely it is that you'll really enjoy them. You start to value every breath, every sunrise, and every funny moment. You know that the purpose of life is not great achievements, but how well you pay attention and how open your heart is. Being present, both for yourself and for other people, may be the most important thing you can do. Keep this in mind as you work out the last few steps. Your story is important. All of your problems, your mistakes, and your successes are part of a whole life that has been lived. You can talk about your bad past in an honest and gracious way, even though it's not ideal. You are in charge of the present, even though you don't know what will happen in the future. The next part will talk about how to nourish your soul even as your body gets weaker, how to find peace while letting go, and how your example could help those who come after you. Give these times your full attention, courage, and love. Come along with us on our trip. There is still a lot to learn, give, and enjoy in the last chapters. As the days get shorter and the sky gets closer, the work of the Spirit takes center stage. Not as strong as the need to show, strive, and be seen when you're young. The need to find peace, let go with grace, and leave behind more than just memories takes its place. The body, which is now weak and often acting strangely, wants you to accept and care for it. In these last chapters, the questions that matter most are not about what you did or what you owned, but about how you lived, loved, and left things for those who come after you. There is less room for false beliefs about your ability to control or perform. While you already accept your body for its flaws, now is the time to thank it for all the trips it has taken you on. It takes quiet courage to get up, get dressed, and face the day every morning. Not because it's easy, but because you are still here, and life is still worth facing head-on, even if it's slowly. Simple self-care routines, making dinner, watering a plant, sending a letter, are no more chores, but affirmations. I am present. I am alive. But the inner world grows as the outer world recedes. This is the terrain you now live on, where in the silence of thought, memories, dreams, regrets, and hopes entwine. Though it's easy to fill this void with noise, television, pointless conversation, distractions, the actual labor is done in silence. Here you may really meet yourself. Ask, who am I now when nobody else is around? Of all the values, what most appeal to me? Before I head off, what do I want to say? In this silence, you might discover a fresh capacity for forgiveness, as well as old regrets returning. You discover that the deepest act of strength is forgiving others, especially yourself, not a show of weakness. To let go of past hurts, remove the grip of resentment, is to free oneself for whatever time still has left. Legacy is not only what you leave behind in tangible objects, it is also the example you set, the acceptance that no life is flawless, but every life may be entire. Though you may not run a room or head a business, you may be a lighthouse, a consistent source of honesty, bravery, and compassion for people all around you. Often without realizing it, the young look to you to see how a person approaches death, with terror, or with the sober pride of someone who has battled the good fight and is ready to rest. There is also a peculiar freedom that comes with understanding time is limited. Your presence, your attitude, your little acts of dignity, these are the lessons that last far more than anything. You can concentrate on what really important, free from the constant duties of the past. All of the urge to satisfy people, pursue prestige, get approval slips away. In its stead comes the chance to cultivate your own soul and search meaning in your behavior rather than in what you do. Letting go is never easy. This could mean spending time with a beloved friend, telling a grandchild a story, or just calmly sitting in the sun, appreciative of the warmth on your skin. It entails letting go not only of regrets, but of hopes unrealized, dreams left to others. Still, releasing is different from giving up. It is wise to realize that everything in life is borrowed, and that clinging too closely would cause one to miss the beauty of what is here, right now. Opening your hands and your heart allows space for calm. Your spirit will be most radiant in these last years. The heart can becoming more giving, the mind more open, the soul more at peace, even as the body diminishes. The depth of a life, that is the readiness to face each moment with love, honesty, and thanks, defines it more than its duration. Your narrative is special with all its turns and turns, pleasures and grief. And even now, you are writing its farewell words. Think about what you want to pass on as you get ready to go. Not only direction, but also bravery. Not simply memories, but also hope. Let those you love realize that the end is to be faced with open eyes and a full heart, not something to worry about. Allow your example to be a last gift, a reminder that even in the face of loss, dignity, compassion, and meaning are achievable. The world will continue as it always does, but your love, your influence, and your presence touch lives in ways you would never see. You are therefore never quite gone. Breathe deeply. Your light stays with those who follow you, telling them that life is still valuable, holy, still worth living to the very last, even in the quietest of hours. Love vehemently, pardon freely, and when the time comes, let go softly, knowing that you have lived well and left behind the most valuable gift of all, a life of significance, courage, and grace. Thank you for viewing. Kindly like and subscribe for other videos.